Here's a hard truth. Most people are broke not because they lack talent, but because they keep repeating a self-sabotaging mindset every single day. And the worst part? They don't even know it. You don't get paid for your time. You get paid for the value you bring to the time. Jim Rohn. That one sentence says it all. If you believe that working hard and waiting for recognition is enough, you're feeding the same mindset that kept me broke for years. Let me ask you, why are you working so hard but getting nowhere? What if everything you were taught about success is exactly what's keeping you stuck? Jim Rohn didn't speak to make people feel good. He spoke to wake them up. If you want things to change, you have to change. But the real question is, what exactly needs to change? Maybe it's how you see failure. Maybe it's how you spend your evenings. Or maybe it's that quiet belief that someday, somehow, someone else will fix your life. That mindset, waiting, complaining, blaming, is poison disguised as logic, and it cost me years I'll never get back. Everything shifted the moment I heard Jim Rohn say, "You can have more because you can become more." It wasn't a promise. It was a challenge. Today, I want you to listen carefully, because if you can spot this mindset in yourself and have the courage to confront it, everything can change. Are you ready for that? Jim Rohn would be looking you straight in the eye right now and asking, are you living your life or just repeating your mistakes? That answer might sting, but it could also be the beginning of your breakthrough. Your mindset is either building your future or silently destroying it. Most people don't lose in life because they didn't try. They lose because they tried with the wrong mindset. That's what makes this topic so dangerous. The beliefs you carry, often inherited, rarely questioned, shape every decision, every habit, every outcome. And the worst beliefs are the ones that sound logical. I'm doing my best. I'll start when I'm ready. Maybe success just isn't for me. Those thoughts don't just hold you back, they lock you in place. A study from Stanford University showed that people with a growth mindset, those who believe they can improve, perform significantly better than those with a fixed mindset, even when starting with less skill. Not more resources, not more luck, just a different mindset. That's why Jim Rohn was obsessed with how you think, because once you fix your thinking, your life starts to follow. He used to say, success is something you attract by the person you become. And if the person you are today is stuck, tired, frustrated, that's not a life sentence, that's a signal. It's time to change. By the end of this video, you'll understand the exact mindset that kept me broke, how I rewired it using Jim Rohn's lessons, and how you can shift your thinking to start creating the life you actually want. This is more than motivation. It's a roadmap, straight from one of the greatest minds in personal development, and it starts now. Your life is a reflection of your philosophy, not your circumstances. Jim Rohn. This isn't just a quote, it's the root of the problem. The mindset that kept me broke and keeps millions stuck is this: I'll be better once life gets better. It sounds harmless, reasonable even, but it's a lie, a trap. It flips the formula of success upside down. Instead of taking ownership, you start negotiating with life. I'll work harder once I get a raise. I'll start saving once I make more money. I'll be disciplined once I feel motivated. This is the reactive mindset. It waits, it blames. It depends on external changes to justify internal growth, and it's everywhere. You see it in the employee who shows up late every day claiming he's underpaid and unappreciated, never realizing his attitude is part of the reason he's overlooked. You see it in the entrepreneur who blames the economy, the algorithm, the timing, but never questions their own habits or strategy. You see it in the person constantly scrolling, saying they don't have time to build their dreams, while giving hours away to distractions. This mindset hides behind excuses that feel rational, but they're just shields for fear, laziness, and a refusal to take control. Don't wish it were easier, wish you were better. Jim Rohn. He said this because he understood something most people miss. Your results are never ahead of your mindset. And if your mindset is built around waiting for life to improve, you'll wait forever. Think of it like standing in front of a fireplace and saying, "Give me heat, and then I'll give you wood." It doesn't work that way. The fire starts when you put in the effort. Success shows up after discipline, consistency, and courage, not before. And that's the trap I lived in for years, believing I needed something out there to change before I changed in here, until I flipped it. until I made the uncomfortable decision to become the kind of person who deserved success before it arrived. That shift changed everything. But first, I had to admit the real problem wasn't out there. It was my mindset. And maybe it's yours too. Most people have been trained to lose, and they don't even know it. This toxic mindset, the one that waits for life to change before taking action, doesn't come from nowhere. It's planted early, watered daily, and reinforced constantly by culture, by fear, by habits that feel normal, but quietly destroy you. From childhood, we hear phrases like, work hard and one day you'll be rewarded. Stay quiet, do as you're told. Don't aim too high, you'll just get disappointed. So we grow up cautious, afraid to fail, and silently ashamed of wanting more. Now picture this. You wake up, check your phone, scroll for 20 minutes, see someone who got rich, someone who got fit, someone traveling the world. You feel a strange mix of jealousy, guilt, and fake motivation. Then you whisper to yourself, someday I'll make it too. But the day slips away, and you do nothing different. Because dreaming about change has become your favorite distraction. That's the real root. You were conditioned to wait. Our culture feeds it with empty motivational quotes. Social media shows the rewards, never the work. And your brain, addicted to comfort and comparison, gives you the illusion of progress without any real movement. Take Daniel, for example. He was a freelance designer for years, always complaining about having no clients. Every month he said he'd build a portfolio, run ads, record content, but only after he found more time, or waited for the right moment, or saw if the market improved. 2 years went by. Nothing changed, because the issue was never lack of knowledge. It was his addiction to postponing action. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. Jim Rohn. Without that bridge, goals become fantasies. And here's the real danger. You get used to it. Here's the micro insight, and yes, it stings. You're not stuck because you lack opportunity. You're stuck because you've become too good at making excuses. And as long as you keep feeding this invisible cycle of waiting, self-sabotage, and distraction, you'll keep living the same life, just with different calendars. Winners think like this: I don't wait for the conditions. I create them. That one shift changed everything for me. Until I stopped thinking like a victim of my circumstances, I kept acting like one. I waited for permission. I waited for motivation. I waited for the right time. But the moment I flipped the script, I saw the truth. Life doesn't respond to intention. It responds to action. Losers wait to feel ready. Winners act their way into readiness. This new way of thinking is simple but powerful. Instead of saying, once I get the result, I'll change, you start saying, once I change, the result will come. This is what Jim Rohn taught over and over again. Success is not something you pursue. What you pursue eludes you. Success is something you attract by the person you become. That mindset forces you to shift your energy from hoping to building, from waiting to working. It doesn't mean grinding yourself into the ground. It means taking responsibility for your thoughts, your habits, your time. And here's what happens automatically when you adopt this mentality. You stop making excuses because you start seeing them for what they are. Lies dressed as logic. You use your mornings to create, not consume. You approach problems with the question, what can I do about this, instead of why is this happening to me? You stop outsourcing your progress to luck, timing, or other people. And most importantly, you start moving. Because once your mind believes you are the cause, your actions follow without resistance. Your discipline sharpens, your focus tightens, your energy shifts from anxiety to momentum. You don't just think positive, you become proactive. And it starts with one decision: to think like the person you want to become, not the one you've been. Don't join an easy crowd, you won't grow. Go where the expectations and the demands to perform are high. Jim Rohn. Because pressure creates diamonds, and clarity creates action. So ask yourself today, are you thinking like someone who's waiting to win, or like someone who's already becoming what success requires? You don't get what you wish for, you get what you're willing to become. Change your mindset and you change your life. It's not enough to think differently. You have to live differently. Changing your mindset only works if it changes your behavior. This is where most people stop, right at the edge of transformation. They get the insight, but never apply it. So here's how to turn this new mindset into action. Real, daily action. 1. Start with your routine. Winners own their mornings. Losers snooze them away. Get up early. No scrolling. No distractions. Pick up a book. Write your goals. Do the uncomfortable first. Discipline weighs ounces, regret weighs tons. Jim Rohn. Don't just wish for clarity. Create it. Say no to your comfort. Say yes to growth. Every morning. 2. Look at your money. Your bank account is a reflection of your mindset. Do you spend to escape or to expand? Next time you want to treat yourself, ask, will this make me stronger or just more distracted? Instead of buying the newest gadget, invest in a course. Instead of another night out, build your emergency fund. Instead of waiting to have more money, learn to manage what you already have. Walk away from mindless spending. Walk towards strategic investing. 3. Watch your decisions. Big wins come from small choices made consistently. Choose the call over the comfort zone. Make the video even when you don't feel confident. Have the hard conversation instead of hiding from it. Success isn't a giant leap. It's 1,000 steps in the right direction. Every time you act with ownership, your mind rewires. You start proving to yourself that you're no longer waiting. You're building. Remember, this is a process, but it only starts when you do. Stop saying, I'll try. Start saying, this is who I am now. Motivation is what gets you started. Habit is what keeps you going. Jim Rohn. So create habits that match the life you want. Because when you align your thoughts with your actions, when your mindset meets movement, that's when results show up. Say no. Walk away. Invest it. Act now. Every choice you make either confirms the old you or builds the new one. And once those choices become consistent, this is where freedom starts. Let's slow down for a moment. You've just seen the mindset that kept me broke and how changing it changed everything. Now it's your turn to look in the mirror. Ask yourself, honestly, 1. What belief have you repeated so often that it now feels like truth? 2. In what area of your life are you waiting? For permission, motivation, or a better time? 3. What excuses have become part of your identity? 4. Who would you become if you stopped negotiating with your potential? 5. If your future depended on the next 30 days, what would you do differently starting today? Let the silence after these questions speak to you, because your answers are already inside. And ignoring them is more costly than you realize. Here's a simple exercise. Just 5 minutes. Take a blank page and write this at the top. If I were brutally honest about what's keeping me stuck, then fill the page. No filters, no pretending, just truth. Write until it hurts a little. That's how you know you're close. Then, at the bottom of the page, finish with this. And if I were serious about changing, I would start by, this isn't a motivational trick, it's a mirror. And what you see in it can shift the course of your life if you're willing to act. You cannot change your destination overnight, but you can change your direction. Jim Rohn. Only you can answer these questions. Only you can face what you've avoided. But you must. Because this isn't just about success. It's about becoming someone you can respect when no one's watching. And that journey always starts inside. Success doesn't happen all at once. It's not a lightning strike. It's a quiet rhythm. A shift in mindset. A better choice. A simple discipline repeated every day. That's what Jim Rohn taught. And that's what transformed my life. If you've been waiting for a breakthrough, maybe this is it. Not because it gave you new information, but because it reminded you of something you already knew deep down. You are the only one responsible for your future. And that's not a burden. It's your power. Success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines, practiced every day. Jim Rohn. So now the question is, which thought have you been letting control your future? Take a moment and leave it in the comments. Just one thought. Naming it is the first step in breaking it. No hype, no pressure, just clarity, and the courage to do something with it. Thank you for watching, and if this helped you, feel free to share it with someone who's stuck, like I once was. The path to change is simple, but only if you walk it.